Hey everybody, Alonzo here with GulfCoastSmoke.com, and today we're making Boudin stuffed pork loin. So specifically we're using the center pork loin roast, and we're going to stuff it with jalapeno boudin that we got from Tuttle's Meat Market in Woodsboro, Texas. It's not sponsored or anything, but we really love the boudin from there. They have regular and they have jalapeno. Today we're going to use the jalapeno. So here is our pork center loin roast. It's a pretty small piece, but we're just cooking for my wife and I today. And one of the things you'll know is there is a fat cap here. In a little bit, we're going to wrap this in a bacon weave. So the first thing I want to do is get this fat off. And I'm going to take my time because I want to take as little meat off as possible. So let's try and make sure to get under that silver skin. I got a little bit of meat there, no big deal. You'll see that there's definitely silver skin under this fat that we're working with. But like I said, we're going to wrap this in bacon. So I definitely do not think we're going to need any of this fat. Okay, now that we're done, you'll see that I took most of this fat off. I got it right here in my hand. And everything's looking really nice and really good. So the next step is going to be to butterfly this because we're going to stuff this today. So what I want to do is I want to get my knife. I want to go right down the middle, make a little incision, and then slowly, take your time here, but surely make my way towards the back of the roast. We don't have to go all the way, but we just want to make sure that we can open this up enough to stuff it with that boudin. And you'll see that there's some nice marbling running through this roast. I think in the end this is going to be absolutely delicious. Now we want to turn our attention towards our boudin. So boudin does have a casing on it, and typically what my wife and I will do is we'll smoke this, slice it and eat it, and it's honestly just killer like that. But today I'm going to take it out of the casing. See, you can just open up the casing really, really easily. And then we're going to add this boudin into a mixture that we have of Monterey Jack Cheese. And now I'm just going to mix. And now that our mixture is nice and mixed up, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to stuff this with some boudin. And because I love this boudin so much, I'm going to overstuff it and kind of let it fall out. That's okay with me if it looks a little messy. It's not a big deal. We're not done yet. Get it as evenly as I can. Now, I'm going to come over top. And I'm going to close that up. And all that excess boudin that you saw spew out the sides of this pork roast, we're just going to pull that away and dispose of it. This is what it's going to look like in the end once you're done doing that. You definitely don't want to eat any of that boudin or that cheese mixture that touched this pork. Just for sanitary purposes, you guys don't want to get sick at home. Next step is the bacon weave. There's no way that we are going to make some delicious stuffed pork and not wrap it in bacon. So the process is very simple. We're not going to go over the whole thing today. I'm not going to go into details. But basically, you're going to line up bacon vertically. And then every other piece of bacon, you're going to flip the edge over, lay a piece of bacon horizontally. And you're going to do that all the way through to make yourself the perfect weave. This is what our weave looks like. And because I want flavor everywhere on this pork loin, I'm going to season the inside with Southern Hospitality. This is our sweet barbecue seasoning. If you guys are interested in it, I'll link it down below. I'm just going to do a little light layer here. We're going to wrap it over. We're just going to make sure everything is nice and tight here. And that is what we want it to look like in the end. And now I'm just going to hit the top with a little more of our Southern Hospitality for a nice little barbecue flavor here. Doesn't have to be a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Seasoning is delicious. So now it's time to set up the fire and the Weber kettle for today's cook. It's a lot harder to show you guys the footage outside because the time change really messed us up and it's getting dark really quick after I get home from work. So I'm just going to let you guys know I got a full chimney of B&B charcoal lit all the way up and I poured it into my slow and sear. The slow and sear does not have the water reservoir in it today. I literally am using the slow and sear just to create two-zone fire. If you guys don't have a slow and sear, that's completely fine. Just put all the coals on one side and we're going to cook this indirect the whole time. So a lot of the times we cook for tenderness, we cook for feel, but today specifically with this pork, we need to make sure it's cooked to at least 145 degrees internal. If I had to guess, that's going to take an hour and 15, hour and a half, something like that. And we're just going to wait until it's fully cooked. We want it to be safe to eat. I don't want to feed my wife anything that's not good. All right, about an hour and 15 minutes later, this stuffed pork is done. And I'll tell you what, the bacon actually cooked really well. One of my biggest complaints about doing anything bacon wrapped is a lot of the times the bacon isn't quite as crispy as I'd like it while the inside of the meat is actually cooked. I think because this was a larger piece of meat, it cooked pretty evenly and everything looks really good, but the looks only matter so much. Let's see how it tastes. Got a nice bite here. Boudin pork bacon. Whew, it's hot. That is amazing. That's one of the best things that we've ever cooked. The first thing I taste is the bacon. The Southern hospitality on the bacon. It's sweet. It's delicious. Then I get that pork that's juicy, savory, cooked to perfection. That boudin, the jalapenos in the boudin, a little spice to it. The cheese tastes so, so good. I'm going to get another bite of this right here because it's that good. Oh my gosh, that pork. I don't know if you can see it from there, but that pork is cooked so perfectly. Nice little smoke ring as well because we cooked it indirect. We didn't necessarily smoke it, but it was cooked indirect, so it has a nice little smoke ring there. Tender, juicy. There's not one thing that I would change about this cook. This is so delicious, and I think it would be cool if you guys figured out ways that you could stuff your pork with a lot of different things. I mean, I tried the boudin and cheese today, but you guys might think of something that's even better than that. So if you liked a recipe like this, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And hopefully you guys got inspired. You're going to get outside. You're going to cook something good with your family and friends. As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Thanks. I'm going to eat the rest of this by myself. We'll see you on the next one.